am getting ready to teach a class here. Oh, Janie, the mindfulness coach, by the way. Yeah, I teach a class. It's called PazMesa. The PazMesa experience is about tapping into the power of peace that lies within. Believe it or not, there is a piece of peace that lies within you that you can access by doing a variety of things, real simple things, self-care things, right? Movement, massage, meditation, breath work, music, humming, drumming, playing instruments, playing. I have hula hoops and I do some real fun activities that train your brain and synchronize your hemispheres, your right and left brain, because you do have a right and left brain. By the way, they represent the masculine and the feminine energies or traits, right? Like logic and emotion. And human beings have thought for some reason that it would be really smart to really focus on like one side of the brain mostly. And essentially the right side is the feeler, and that side of the brain is connected to the brain and the heart that they don't tell you about, that they discovered in 1991. That's 5,000 times more electromagnetic than the brain and the head. So it's like we need our head, that's our intellect, and we need to be utilizing the full capacity of our brain. And we've been very disconnected as a people, as a society, as a culture from the wheel of emotions that our creator and maker gave us access to. We've disregarded our feelings for a really long time. We've demonized feelings and emotions, and it's gotten us sick, basically. So when you're disconnected from those things and you don't have the emotional intelligence and the ability to read those emotions, because when you have a thought, you have a feeling. When you have a feeling, you have a thought. We're thinker-feelers, not just thinkers. And when you think, we focus so much on that, we become overthinkers. And all overthinking is under-feeling. So it's like there's the scales there that are not balanced. There's a lot of things that we're doing, and a lot of it's coming from our thinking that's causing us stress, inflammation. You know, it's okay to have these heavier emotions, but if you're always in a state of feeling bitter, jaded, angry, frustrated, mistrusting, those are traumas and things that you haven't really addressed, and it's robbing you of your peace in the present moment. And mindfulness is about living in the moment on purpose, non-judgmentally. That's what mindfulness is really all about. It's that you understand once life throws you curveballs, you know exactly what you need to do to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop, P-O-P, the piece of peace that lies within. The PazMesa, it's a practice. This is a practice, and it's an entire program that when I coach people and when I work with people, essentially that's what I'm doing. I'm helping them remember what they are and who they were really here to be, and what's all the junk and the gunk that got in the way that's causing them to think and act and be from a place that's actually causing more suffering. Back in the day, in the past, those belief structures and those ways of being and thinking served them because they were protective mechanisms. And the body doesn't feel safe. You don't feel safe. If you don't feel safe in your body, you're not going to be at ease. And PazMesa is about knowing what is disturbing you. What are you not at ease about? Caring about your mind and your thoughts and becoming an observer of them is another part of accessing the power of peace that lies within. When you start to know why you think what you think and why you want what you want, you need to get curious. And that's another thing that's lacking in people, is that the lack of curiosity and the desire to continue to learn and grow. There's this like, oh, it's so much work to become my optimal self. And it's like, I get it. I know that there's effort, and for some it's more difficult than others. And it's not a race. It's not a race. But when you already have that outlook and that attitude, it's really because you're seeing yourself. It's like a reminder that you've got work to do and there's something wrong with you. And it's like, you are totally, perfectly beautiful. And there are, at the same time, there are parts of you that are acting out subconsciously, unconsciously from the self-saboteur. And you can do some healing work. And mindfulness is a great practice. There's a lot of different tools that you can use to help you know your thoughts. But this is not just a thought thing. This is a body thing, because the mind and the body are interfacing. Every time you have a thought and a feeling, you have a sensation. Something happens inside of your body. And that word is called interoception. And one of the main things that I like to do in the PazMesa class, because everybody's like, go, produce. They don't even feel comfortable just being still and just resting. Like there's a discomfort and an anxiety that settles in when they're taking time for themselves and slowing down. In the class, it's really bringing you into the body and into your senses in a way that you don't really like bring attention to your senses. And when you start to understand how memories are stored in the body, that's why they say the body keeps the score. So you have your daily stressors, but then you've got those things that created heartache and sadness and anger or whatever. Maybe back in the day when you were a kid, but you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm an adult now, and you know, my parents did the best they could with what they knew, and I intellectually understand this. Well, guess what? Your nervous system hasn't gotten the message yet. So all that stuff that you feel, oh, or whatever, wherever you think it's coming from, or there is something you can do about that. You can do something about the dissonance and the white noise that's like, you think you compartmentalize it, but the body is all like one system. So everything is sensing all the shit that you're like in denial about, all the stuff that you're repressing and suppressing. PazMesa is a place to replenish yourself, replenish your mind, your body, your heart, your soul, to just listen to yourself. Active listening to your own self and your body, and noticing things maybe you didn't notice before, you know? And when you engage with intention, especially loving intention, to give your body permission to feel peace and bliss and spaciousness, the space versus the time and the contraction. That's another thing. The left brain is about time. The right brain's about space. I mentioned earlier that in this class we play. Inner child work is really important. And so when you understand what was gripping and hurting your inner child, and you start to understand how memories are stored in the body and how you can reframe and rewire the body and the brain to receive a new meaning around what it is that happened to you. So you were victimized, but you don't have to be victimized every single day of your life for the rest of your life. You can then see it in a whole new way, experience it in a whole new way, put in tools into place on a daily basis so that you can not just like clear it out of the mind, but clear it out of the heart and the body and everything else, so that you can finally take back autonomy and sovereignty of your well-beingness, because how you're being impacts your well-being. And if we want to see more peace in the world, we can be the peace we want to see in the world. So let us honor all the parts of ourselves. There's a lot of repressed anger because we have like a unhealthy relationship with anger. And we need to give ourselves, we need to learn how to process and be with anger in a way that it's not going to hurt other people or do more damage to what it's doing to us in the first place. It is important for us to know how to be okay with all of our emotions, but from a place of the observer, so that we can use that emotional data to discover what's really going on. And if it's just something like some little phantom thing from the past robbing you of your peace in the present, you can go through these steps, which I cover in the PazMesa class, which is called SNAP. Stop, take a breath, and notice what you're feeling, thinking, what your body's doing. A, accept and allow that which is showing up, which is very difficult for people to do. And then P, proceed with loving kindness and objectivity and respectability with yourself, if it's like your own inner dialogue or if it's like with another person. PazMesa is also about like getting comfortable with the pause, the space between the breath, that space where we can access so that we don't react, but we can like sense it and then have the self-control and the power, the willpower to override the system and respond in a different way. You do that again and 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 again, and eventually you fire all the synapses, and then you got these new neural pathways, which is now changing your neurochemistry, and now you're getting less adrenaline, cortisol, norepinephrine, because you're not working yourself up. You're learning how to work yourself, down. It's about the chill. How do you help yourself chill? And we can't expect our kids to be doing this if we're not doing it ourselves as adults, okay? They're learning from us, and we fly out the handle, but you think it's okay because you're an adult. These kids don't even have a full frontal lobe yet, and that's the part that it controls impulse, and they're operating pure instinct and emotion. We get to use our free will to clean up our mind and our ego so we can get it working for us instead of against us. We got to learn we have to understand what the ego really is, how it got hurt, what's all the pain in it, what's all the issues going on with our inner child that's still living inside of us, because all of our memories are stored at the center of every cell, and then do the work to rectify all of that and shower it with unconditional love. And you got to figure out what that is, because most people don't know what that is. And that's another thing. PazMesa is rooted in the principles of unconditional love. I love what Yeshua was talking about, being about, and the way is friendship. You have to learn how to become your best friend, because your adversary has really got it going on right now, and now we have to power up the other side and then get this side to clean up this side and get them working together the way they were intended, like yin and yang, complementary forces, not combative. Battle of the sexes, not happening anymore, people. Peace be in you.
Thanks for watching. To be a part of my mindfulness community, visit JanieTerrazas.com, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and like and follow at Janie the Mindfulness Coach.